Hello there, guys. Welcome to another Tuesday with myself and Mrs. Frog.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. How's it going? So today we're going to be taking a look at the model that we were doing on yesterday's stream.
Last week's
stream, indeed. and then working through with that. So we're going to get everybody in chat at the moment, and then we'll start proceedings off. Perfect. So, Mrs. Frog, what we're going to start off doing is working on. In fact, you can actually see it better on the camera here. So you see these lines here. This is what we're going to be highlighting on. MDH, welcome in. So this is what we're going to be highlighting on here. So the crotches, so you can see the creases on here. Underneath the camera, you can see the light and dark. So on the dark areas here, and the lighter areas. So we're going to be trying to put in shadows on this model for Mrs. Frog. So we're going to start off.
A bit early yet, only a minute past.
I know, but we're going to start off with the Caliban green, and then progress on to Warpstone Glow after that for Mrs. Frog. How is everybody else doing? Double check on the yep, we have the music on as well, which is always good. Perfect. So we'll just wait the obligatory 5 minutes or so for everybody else to join in. So how's everybody's week been so far? All good apart from the heat? Yes, mate, tell me about it. We're good, thank you very much. MDHS, how we both are.
Not bad. Got backache again.
Yep, and I've been painting. I was painting for 4 hours straight yesterday, and then 6 hours straight again today from 12 o'clock. So I finished at 6 to have a bit of a break, and then I'll be back on it again. I've been. Do you want to show them some of the British Army guys that I've been working on? So this is as far as I've got with the second half of them. So I've got the faces and the guns, so the skin, the wood, and then the bedrolls and the on the back of him. Does he have? Yes, he does. He has a little can of tea, if you can point that out. His little ceramic mug to drink out of. So I've got those to paint. Looking good so far. Yeah, definitely. There's 25 of them to go. So long and hard on that, but we'll get there eventually. So, Mrs. Frog, shall we? Have
we got the usual suspects in?
We've got some in.
So we have guest audience member tonight as well, guys. Orc Girl is actually here with us in a physical presence. Say hello, Orc Girl. Hello. Orc Girl, otherwise known as my mother.
Yep, or otherwise known as my mother-in-law.
So today's a momentous day. So Mum, due to COVID, hasn't been out of the house since the 7th of March. And today I've dragged her around and she's come for dinner and we've been to the garden centre. So yeah, we've finally escaped. So all good. Absolutely
lovely. Long and hard, that's what she said. Says
it's MDH on it. Yeah.
Of course MDH is on it. Good lad. Right, okay, so should we get cracking then, Mrs. Frog?
Yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing, but is this the right brush?
Yes, that's perfect. So with the lines on here. Ryan, hey, how's it going? Hey, Mrs. Frog, says Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
So on the creases, they kind of go diagonally downwards towards the middle of the legs. So those are the lines that we're trying to paint in on this.
Straight out the pot, or?
Yep. The mixing palette's there if you do need it. And that ting was not a ceramic prayer bowl.
So like there?
That's it, yep.
So straight down? How should I be holding it?
So what you're wanting to do with it is if you tilt the model ever so slightly, you're going to find it easier. And we're going to do this leg first. And then the way you're holding the brush, you want to start off. It's difficult for me to come around and do it this way. It'll be easier for you. But you're wanting to almost start off from the centre part there. Just draw the brush up following the highest part of The crease on the trouser once you do the first one. That's it.
Nothing on it.
So wet the brush and try it again. That's it, that's exactly where we're looking at going. And then the next one down.
This one?
Yep.
Over the top of it?
Yep, that's right. So we're trying to stay away from, that's perfect. So we're trying to stay away from the deepest creases, which you're doing quite successfully. So wet the brush again because it's probably a little dry.
Oh, told you I'd knock the camera with my head. I've sat on a really thick cushion this week, guys, because my back was hurting last week, but now I'm knocking the camera with my head. So we fixed one problem and caused another one.
Paul, hi there, how's it going?
Yo, Mr. P. That's got too much water on it.
There we go, you're getting the hang of it. She's moistening the tip with her mouth.
Go on, MDH. So which one? So we've done that one.
Yep, so just go down chronologically. So you've done the first one, you've done the second one, so down onto the third one now.
Yeah, this is way too fine detail for me.
So if you're moistening the tip, lol, oh my, says MDH. If you're having difficulty with this, what we could try is over brushing it instead, if you wanted to try that. So a bit of a dry brush rather than trying to paint the detail in.
I don't know, let's try this first, see how I get on. But
Yes.
it doesn't help that I'm as blind as a bat.
Paul says, hi up girl. You can respond back on the mic if you want. She's shaking her head furiously. Just bring the model up ever so slightly. There we go, perfect.
Yeah.
Practice. Don't give up straight away.
I can't actually see any difference.
Okay, well, we can go up to the higher layer of detail if you want. The higher colour, the warpstone glow, if you wanted to.
I don't know, have I done this bit yet?
Well, if you can't see a difference on there, that tends to mean that it's the same sort of colour. So I chose it because it was it looks like a decent colour match for it. Perhaps it's an exact colour match.
Yeah, I can't tell any difference.
Are you holding the paintbrush in your mouth?
No.
You mean, you know, like you constantly tell me off for?
I mean, talking with a paintbrush in my mouth, that'll be a really, really stupid thing to do.
That's exactly what I mean. She constantly tells me off for talking on the mic with a paintbrush in my mouth, and yet here she is doing it. Right, so same again. So you're going to get a little bit of the warpstone glow out of the pot. Put it onto the paint palette. Now this is going to be a huge colour difference, so you will be able to see what's going on here. So you want as fine a point on the paintbrush as you can.
Same bits as last time?
Yep, so exactly the same bits as last time. That's it. So this is where all that fine detail comes in. And you're just only trying to follow the lines of the raised areas. So this is highlighting for you, which is something that you've not done before on cloth.
Never done before?
Yep. That's what I'm saying, you've not done it before. So you've done edge highlighting before on the Space Marine.
No, I can't do this.
You can. So if you're struggling, we can try dry brushing instead if you want, which is not going to be as neat a line. What do you guys reckon in chat? It's looking pretty good from here. Hold your breath the whole time. Paul Spencer says, don't give up. Putty, welcome in. Mrs. Ritz, hello, my wee loves. Welcome, welcome. So Mrs. Frog is trying to do edge highlighting for the first time, guys. MDH says, we believe in you.
Glad someone does.
Absolutely. So you've got quite a bit of paint up on the mid half of the paintbrush, so if you want to just clear that off. So you don't want it coagulating and splitting the ends on there.
I don't even know where I've been and where I need to go. Like, I'm not liking this.
So what is it that you're not liking about it?
That my vision's that bad that I'm really struggling to even see where I need to go. Like, this isn't something for me.
In terms of the highlighting side of things, isn't something for you? Okay, so we can switch it up instead. So rather than trying to do edge highlighting for you, if you're struggling to see where those are, then the way we're going to be going about doing that instead, so if you want to just tip the model on its side so that people can see the whole model, we're going to try, just bring it down ever so slightly, there we go. So we are going to try instead dry brushing, or not specifically dry brushing. Hi JJ, by the way, I did see you come in just before I switched across. We're going to try, I'm just bringing out a dry brush. Here we go, this is a large dry brush for us. So this is dry brushing. So what we're going to do with you've done dry brushing before, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So if you want to do the dry brushing, and we're just going to do this very gently, and rather than following like we did last time, so last time we were following the lines, but instead we're going to be going over the top of it. So you want less paint on the, there's hardly any paint on there now. So it's that fine line with dry brushing. You need some paint on there, but not too much. There we go. And you're just going to gradually dry that over. So don't press too hard. We're just going to lightly, gently brush it over the top of the model. Can you see a bigger difference on that now?
Nope.
Well, it's showing up on camera.
Camera's eyes are clearly better than mine are.
Hive says, hi all, hope you're having good days. We are indeed. Sinister JJ says, nails not painted. No, she's growing her nails out.
No, I've been out with Mum today. Orc Girl is in the room with us.
Indeed.
So I've taken Mum out today, so.
Of course I remembered you, JJ.
Is that enough? Or?
So we need to do the bottom half of so below the kneecap on the left knee. Ritz says channel a little inner Bob Ross and be super gentle, then beat the devil out of it. Indeed. Gotta love Bob Ross. Here we go. So if in doubt, you can always whack a little bit more on. There's no problems with that. So we just need to steer clear of the white, that's all. How's that looking, do you think?
I don't know.
Do you want to flip the model over and do the back half? Is there any green on the back?
Cloak.
It's all cloak. Okay, let's just have a wee look. That's not looking too bad, is it? I reckon that looks pretty good. Okay, super. So, next up then, so give me the dry brush. You're going to switch back to the other brush. So, and we're going to be doing the Iron Hand Steel, which is the silver, and then we're going to be doing this over the scythe.
You've stolen my other brush.
It's just there, sorry, my apologies. As a friend of mine once said, start over a black or white. Start over and display black or white. No, not at all. We're going to power through this. Definitely.
What are we doing?
With this silver, so this silver is going on the scythe. So this is the only metal part of the model.
Mm-hmm.
So that big black triangle at the top of the model.
I know what a scythe is.
Okay. So we're going to be painting that silver.
All of it.
All of it. So you can try a bit of a bigger brush if you wanted to, maybe. Up to you.
You mean the knackered brush?
The knackered brush, yeah. We've racked up the size 3. I've just figured out it's not the camera that's in the way, it's that. There we go. It's the light. That told you, Mr. Frog. Absolutely, she keeps me in my place.
What you didn't see was the eye roll.
I can't see the eye roll because I'm behind her, manning the comms desk at the moment. I don't know. I talk about greaves sometimes, and different parts of armor, and you don't understand those ones.
I know what a scythe is.
Okay. Ooh, sassy, says JJ. It's not sassy, it's just being right, according to Mrs. Frog. I know my place, guys. Happy wife, happy life. You know what? I've just put that dry brush back, and I've realised we need to do the sack on his face.
Go on, MDH. Anything about a sack on your face?
Yeah, I was just about his tea bag. We're going to do it XV88, I think, and then a bit of bone after that. Hive says, unhappy wife, happy scythe. No, unhappy wife, broken model.
I've never broken any of his models, but I did...
You have?
When?
I seem to remember very vaguely a broken model of just some description. I'm sure
No, I scratched your Call of Duty disc.
Oh yeah, but that's different. That was just a computer game, and I never played it again afterwards. So you scratched it, but I didn't actually realise you'd scratched it because I never played it again. MDH beats getting the sack. Yes. Watch it, Mr. Frog, or you're going to find that scythe somewhere you really don't want.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So wash the brushes out, and then we're going to hit it with a bit of Null Oil Gloss, which is this one here. So this is just going to add the bit of shadows on there.
We need to bob it.
No, it'll be fine. Let's just have a quick look. Sorry guys, just going to snatch the model. Oh, that's pretty dry.
Over the metal.
Yeah, all over the metal. Gigio, hello, welcome. Hunter says, I'd rather take his scythe than broken models. Yes. Well, I told you guys about the housemate that upset me, so I snapped off all the heads on his elf army and then put them all back in the case. That's it. And then we're going to do just the bits around the top where the wood meets it as well.
That bit.
Yep, so just to put a bit more of the wash on there. There we go, perfect. Done. Nice and easy. So wash the brush out again. And then how are we looking? So we've got, if you just tilt the model a little bit further back so they can see his face. Yeah, so at the moment his face is looking a little dark, so what we're going to do is bring that up a little. Now with his face it's just a case of dry brushing, but what you're wanting to do is kind of come in from the top of the so you want it to come in from the top and then just brush it down over the top like that, and we're only going for the sack on his face. So you're going to start off with good old XV88. And And this one, although you still want like a bit of paint on there, you want this one to be, this one's going to be a little thicker in terms of the paint. You want a little bit more on there. So still get some of that off, but don't worry about trying to get all of it off. That's it. Perfect. And that's just going all over the face. So you start, that's it, from where the bit meets the hat, and then just pulling it down over the rest of it, where the wood meets it. MDH. Gigio, of course it's got to be XV88. XV88 is like my most used. That's it. That's exactly what we wanted. We wanted to put like a bit of a base coat on it before we do the fine dry brushing with the Zanjari dust. So just on the underneath of his. So we've only hit the front part of the face. So just on the like the underneath of his chin as well. MDH bursts out laughing at Sack. Oh my God! You've got your kiddie head on today. It's like MDH has regressed into his 12-year-old self. And then also, hang on, just before you put it away. So that sack goes right the way over his head, and then also down to his neckline as well. So can you see just over? Just spin the model around so that you can see. So just around here, this part here. Yep, he's got like the edge of the sack going around his neck, okay, and then just on his back as well. Gigio, you can use XV88 for bone, wood, stone, sand, skin, chocolate, mud, and so on. Exactly. Anything that's going to be brown is going to be a base coat of XV88. It is like the best colour. Because it's got yellows in there, it's a really good neutral colour for pretty much everything. MDH, bloody hell, lol, what a big sack. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, how are we looking? So we've hit all the highlights on there, that's perfect. So it's going to be a bit of a Hessian sack. So we're wanting more of like a light straw brown. So if we go with the Zanjari dust, that's it. And then this one, we're actually going to do, so we're going to do a light dry brush of this. 2 moments. So it's alright because you stuck that in your mouth, so it's now wet.
That's why I was just drying it off on my hand.
I know, I'm just drying it out on my leg. It's going to be quicker. There we go. So this one we're going to be doing a light dry brush, so over his face, but we're also going to hit up the bones as well on there. Hunter says, when I mix my colours, I always feel like a mad scientist. Mate, you're not the only one. You want to see my my colour palette at the moment. I might show you it in a bit. It's all over the shop. It's perfect. Actually, we're not going to hit the bones with that colour. So we're just going to keep that to the sack itself. Because the bones are quite a nice bit. We used the Agros Dunes for the bones last week, so it's a really nice, like yellowy dark colour. So we're going to keep that as is. But what we're going to do instead now. So have you done round the neckline as well? I think you have, haven't you? Mm-hmm. Yep, perfect. Okay, so rather than doing that, let's go back to this one. What colour do you want the eyes to be?
I don't know. What do people want the colour of the eyes to be?
Do you want to go for the bright luminous green like we did last time, like I was doing, like a manic kind of glow on there? We're going to do the teeth and bones first. So we're going to be using Jacobone. So with this, you're going to follow the teeth kind of going down from the roof of the mouth down to the edge, down to the end. So from kind of where the root of the teeth is. I'm pretty sure he's got quite a few on the top and then just a couple on the bottom. So that's what I was going to say, if you turn the model sideways. That's it. We can always use a couple of washes just to kind of cover up the mistakes on there. Well, not mistakes, but just bring out the extra depth. MDH, you said bottom. Thank you, MDH. Perfect. Okay, so next up we're going to do the ribs and the other bones.
With?
Same colour. So this is jackabone.
As what? Dry brush?
No, so what we're going to do with the brush itself, we're going to use the edge of it, and then we're just going to follow the lines down like so. And then, so wherever the bones are, we're going to be hitting it at like a 90-degree angle. So around like this, down here. So you're not going to need too much paint on the brush, but you're going to be going at a 90-degree angle to the bones. So this will allow the paint just to sit right on the top edge of the bone. That's exactly right, yes, yeah. Just nice and gently, there we go, perfect. Next one, I'm just going to do that all over the bones, and this is really going to bring out the highlights on there, but it'd be nice and easy for you to do. So this is a great way if you guys have bones to do. It's a nice and easy way to be doing it. That's perfect. So this is almost like, it's called overbrushing. So rather than dry brushing, we're brushing over the top of the model, but we're doing it with sidewards brush strokes. There we go, we'll make a pro painter out of you, yeah.
Doubt that very much.
So you've got his rib cage to do. So if you work through it like progressively, so if you've done his left arm, just bring it slightly up towards, there we go. That's it. So that's his rib cage. Same again with the others. Excuse me. Putty says, "Oh, cool! Yay, learning! Yeah, absolutely." So this is I covered this in the video for unlocking edge highlighting or solving the mystery of edge highlighting. But basically, when you have really large raised areas like this, with the bones, they're extremely raised from the deep recesses. So rather than using the tip of your brush, if you go up about 1/5 of the brush, like Mrs. Frog's doing here, and you just run it over with the edge of the brush, then the edge of the brush makes contact with the edge of the model and keeps a really nice crisp line over the top. So this works with any kind of 90-degree angle or more acute. So this works for like edge highlighting, you know, tanks and vehicles and that sort of thing. But it wouldn't necessarily, you see the cloth there, it wouldn't necessarily work for edge highlighting on the cloth, because what would happen is if you'd end up spilling over the rest of the model. So this is instead of line highlighting. Has an extremely high learning curve. It does, but it comes with practice as well. So you kind of figure these things out as you go along. So this is not stuff that I've been taught. This is more stuff that I've just figured out over my painting journey. Sorry, just adjusting my seat and getting comfy. like a big leather office chair. It's looking good. So I think the only one you've got left to do is that hand that's holding the scythe after this.
I did it, but I don't think I had enough paint on it.
Yeah. God, I can't believe we're halfway through the time already. It's going quick tonight. Hunter, I'm all good, my man. It's nice to take a break from painting after spending best part of 24 hours over the past 2 days in my chair painting. Super. Okay, so the next step is we're going to be using Corax White, and we're just going to be doing the eyes. So you've done smaller eyes, you've done lenses before with the Space Marine. So we're going to be doing his eyes, and his eyes are slightly bigger than Space Marine lenses. So with this, you wanted to, if you just tilt the model a little bit further back. There we go. Okay, so you wanted to just go in at more of a 90-degree angle, and you're almost going to stab him in the eyes. So that's it. So you're going to do one side and then perfect, exactly come at it from the other side. That's okay. We're going to be covering this up with the Tesseract Glow anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about that because the Tesseract Glow is super bright. Giving this a good old shake up. MDH had a break from painting today. Spent time with the wifey. What have you done?
Cocked it up.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. Just bring it back into camera view, and then we'll do the other eye. It's a bit hot in here at the moment. I've had to keep the windows closed because the bloody neighbour was trying to build a house down the bottom of his garden by the sounds of things. What have you done?
Blobbed everywhere.
Okay.
Looks awful.
So it's okay. We're going to be covering it up with... So if you've blobbed, just get your dry paintbrush out and then stab it over the top of it, and it will clear off the paint from the recess, from the edges on there. And it will smooth the paint
See
out.
guys, that nearly came to being thrown across the room.
Looks pretty much done to me though.
Looks awful, but yeah.
Don't worry about it. So next up.
I can no longer actually see where his eyes are.
That's okay. So let's put the model flat down, and if you turn it that way, you can then see one eye just there and one eye just there. So you want, that's it, a bit more than that. There we go, just drag the edges off, perfect. And then you're going in, and we're just going to dab it onto where the eyes
Oh
are.
my god.
Have you got the shakes, have you? So alter your hand position or alter the model.
You told me to do it like this.
Yeah. But if it's not working for you, then change it. That's looking good. Perfect. Done. That's it. So with the Tesseract Glow, because it's such a bright colour, you really want to just use as little of it as possible on there. There we go, have you got it? So really, it really makes the model pop. So there we go, so that's that part done. Now, in terms of the other stuff that we've got, we've done the teeth, we've done the mouth, we've done the ribs. So the only thing we've really got left to do is this side here, and then the base, and then we're done. So with the, let's see, hold the model for a second. There we go. So we're going to be using a bit of Agrax Earthshade when I can find it. Come on, Agrax Earthshade. Sorry guys, I am missing a particular paint. It's not one of those, is it? No. Where is it? I know I had it. There it is. So Agrax Earthshade, and we're just going to put this over the scalp, over his mask, and so all over his mask and all over his teeth, apart from the eyes. It, and this is just going to dirty that mask back up and give us a bit of the recesses that we might have lost. Hunter, I'm forcing myself to paint, but only tabletop now. I won't risk any chance of painting a competition piece when I'm painting for the sake of painting. No, absolutely. So it's like any sort of doing anything for a hobby has got to be for the love of it first and foremost. And if you stop enjoying it, it's no longer a hobby. You're not doing it for the enjoyment. So it's really important to, still put 100% in, but in terms of trying to achieve perfection, you don't need to achieve perfection. As long as you're doing it and you're enjoying it, it doesn't matter what it looks like at the end of the day. As long as you've learned something from that, there we go, perfect. As long as you've learned something from it by the end of the day, then that's all that really matters. So next up, we're going to do that scythe. So we've got quite a nice rich reddy brown on that scythe already. So rather than using like XV8 or XV88 or Xandri Dust, which is more of a yellowy brown, we wanted to use more of a reddy brown. So what we might want to do, we're going to be doing dry brushing again. And we're going to use Scrag Brown followed by Deathclaw. So we'll start off with the Scrag Brown with the dry brush, which is the slightly darker one, and then we'll progress up there from there afterwards. Oh yeah, Hunter, definitely. It's a big relief, really, to be honest. When you free your constraints from trying your hardest and you do it back for the enjoyment again, then that's definitely where you get more of a satisfaction, I feel. Because if you strive for perfection, then you're never going to get there. If it's a journey for you, yep, and you're going from A to B, which is just move the model slightly to the left. There we go. If you're going from an unpainted model to a painted model, and all you're doing is focusing of the end of it, which is a painted model, then you're missing out on the enjoyment of all of the steps along the way. So rather than doing that, if you just focus on enjoying each of the steps that you're going through, you're going to gain a lot more enjoyment out of the model than just having a painted model at the very end of it, is how I see it. So you just you concentrate on enjoying the process of it. You're enjoying the process of this at the moment, aren't you, Mrs. Frog? Mm-hmm. There we go. So we established that edge highlighting might be a little beyond Mrs. Frog's skill set at the moment. So rather than trying to force her to do edge highlighting, which is going to cause a lot of frustration for her, we go back to a skill that she's got and improve on that, which is the dry brushing side of things. So this one, we're just using a lighter dry brush. So you want to get the majority of the paint off there, and we're just gently putting this on, and what this will end up doing is just on the highest points of the detail on there it's then going to put the scrag on there and give us almost like a highlight to that. So we're going to be finishing the stream bang on time at 7 tonight, guys, because we're at 8. Sorry, it's already gone past 7. Just move the model over slightly to the left. There we go. So because we've got to take the mother-in-law back home. Just going to move the camera for you. There we go. So you can keep it there now. Ah, Mrs. Ritz says, beautiful, my dear.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ritz.
Good, good, good. Okay, so we've done the wood on the scythe. Did you want to do anything with the skull sack? The Sacco skulls?
What time now?
We've got 20 minutes. It's not going to take too much. So just clear off the dry brush, and then if you get the jackerbone back out again.
That up one.
That's it, yep. I was going to say finish at 7, but you've overrun a tad. Well, considering we started at 7, then yeah. There we go. And we just see the skulls in the sack. He's got like the little skull. There's a rib cage next to it, and then like a hand sticking out as well.
I've just covered the whole thing.
That's absolutely fine. A skull's meant to be covered. So with the others, if you just bring it slightly back, there we go. That's it. Now what I'm gonna suggest is, whilst you've got all the paint, just dry most of the paint off the brush now, and then you're going to give the whole sack a light dusting of that. So just very lightly, just brush over the top of it. So this is still going to give almost like a highlight to that, but still keep the majority of the colour in there as well. That's it. Perfect. So this is almost like a cheats way of highlighting. It's not cheating, it's just a different way of doing it.
Work smarter, not harder.
Indeed, work smarter, not harder. There we go. So there's no point painting over something when you don't actually need to. So what we've done there is the model has like stitches on the bag, and we've picked out the stitches on there. We've picked out all the edges of the sack as well. You know, the skulls right the way around the side of it and the back. So we've picked out everything that we need to on there with just, 5-10 seconds worth of quick dry brushing. So it doesn't need to be neat as long as it works for the effect that we're looking for. Hold on to the model then. Okay, so we're almost done now. Last thing we've got to do is just to go about doing the base, and then we're home free. So we're going to grab out the... Now this is my own patented mix for sand on the base. So we're going to switch over to the larger brush. And this is Snakebite Contrast with water. It's a 50-50 mix of both. So basically it's half a pot of snakebite that I've then topped up with water. And you're just going to put that all over the base. So it's the same as the one that we did before. And that's going to go all over the base. So obviously the sand's going to soak this up a lot. We get to use Bob as well. Gigio, can I ask your advice on an unrelated issue to the stream? Yeah, certainly. So I'm planning a little diorama in HO scale. Do you know any sites where I can buy single person figures like Notch, but a full box of 5 or more pieces? Your best bet, Gigio, to be honest with you, is actually eBay. So on eBay, you're going to be able to pick up a lot of second-hand stuff for HO scale, and it's going to be a damn sight cheaper, to be fair. So if you just type in HO scale figures or HO scale model people, I think would be the better way to go, and that's going to be able to bring something out, bring something up for you. That's where I'd start, Gigio, rather than if you buy it brand new. What's going to end up happening is you're going to have to buy like a 5-person set or a 10-person set or a 15-person set, basically. MDH says, Mrs. Frog, that's looking bloody fantastic.
Thank you, MDH.
And Mrs. Ritz says it's his buddy who can't get around by himself, just giving him a helping hand so you go out to the pumpkin patch. Yes, yeah, it's like he's like a really creepy, bony kangaroo, isn't he? With his little friend Jimmy in the sack.
Somebody needs to re-watch this and find out how many times he's said sack during this video.
He's got his big baggy sack with a skull in it. Laugh out loud from everybody. He's looking good. Perfect, looking almost done there. Yep. Super de duper. Okay, give him a hit with Bob.
Bob!
All hail mighty Bob! Dryer of models. Now careful you don't get too close to him when he's in the... Yeah, I was going to say, so you just got to be careful when blow drying models, when they're in these stands, because they're spring loaded. If you heat the plastic up too much, what ends up happening is it contracts and bends the base downwards, which is never good. Praise Bob and all his majesty. Bob, 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 Bob.
Next.
Okay, so next up is, as always, XV88 as the start of the base. Now you can take him off the model holder now, because we're going to be painting the edges. Oop. F in the chat. So we're going to give the base a light overbrush with the XV88, and then we're going to paint around the edge of the base. That's it. So not too heavy on the paint. That's what you've got is perfect. All I'm saying is you don't need more on it. If you just bring it up a fraction, there we go. MDH face palm. Yeah. You know, it wouldn't be one of my streams, well, Mrs. Frog streams, if I wasn't breaking stuff on here. That is perfect. So as you guys know, this is my patented fast method for painting bases. Literally just sand, snakebite leather and water 50-50 mix, painted all over it. Dry it off with a hairdryer and then overbrush with the XV88. You can go one stage further if you want and put the bone colour over the top of it, Sandry Dust or Screaming Skull if you wanted to. But to be fair, you don't really have to. Just bring the model up a tad. There we go. Hunter says my F might be alone, but it's worth 1,000 Fs. Yeah, for fucking fuck's sake. We're doing pretty well on that. Yeah, I don't know where everybody else is in the stream. It's I mean, thank you very much, guys, all 10 of you for joining in. Obviously, we would double this yesterday, so I don't know where everybody else is on there, but it's all good.
Nobody
We're still
wants
having
to
fun.
see Mrs. Frog.
Of course they do.
Humph. Get my really tiny little violin out.
It is a quiet one today, but it's not about the amount of people we have in, it's about the quality of people that we have in. So we are A-okay. Cool.
Did you want me to go over with the bone?
I mean, it's up to you. You can do if you want to. Just give it a little bit more contrast on there with the Sandry Dust. So if you use the dry brush on this, you're going to have less paint absorbed. So because the dry brush has got like thicker, harder bristles, then it tends to not absorb as much paint on it. Which is why, when you wipe off the excess, it's not going to have as much on there. So that's why you want to be doing a dry brush with dry brushing with a dry brush, as opposed to a normal brush. So when you overbrush something, you've got more paint on there. So that's the difference between the dry brushing and the overbrushing. Dry brushing leaves a lot less. It has a lot less paint on it naturally, just because of the dry brush itself. I blame work. Yeah, F work. Sorry, I'm painting at the moment, not listening, not typing, but enjoying it as usual. Bless you, Hive. No problem at all, man. It's absolutely fine. Like I said, it's more about the quality of people we've got in. That's it. So let's just have a look. Cool. So last step now. Put a couple of the grassy tufts on.
Your tweezers downstairs.
That's okay, I've got nails. Yeah. One of them's.
Where do you want them?
Up to you. You decide. I've got big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. So, because it's a slightly bigger one, then you can put a couple of the bigger ones on there if you wanted to. Do you want the tweezers as well? Mrs. Frog? Do you want the tweezers? Because they're downstairs. I can do you, I can get you the bathroom tweezers if you want.
No, they're mine. Expensive eyebrow tweezers. You are not getting super glue on them.
Ah, come on.
Well, I'm not getting super glue on them.
Use the pliers then. So the trick with these grassy stuffs is to press the middle part down as hard as you can, and that'll keep the fluff of them. Add one or two, like one's to the left and one's to the right, maybe. So we're struggling to see. Yeah, you're gonna. So that's why we use tweezers as opposed to your fingers, because you just stick your fingers to the grassy tuft instead of the grassy tuft to the model. So just bring it a bit further up. There we go. Oh God, Hive, what have you done? Just put my Citadel sharp blade through my thumb yesterday whilst trying to multitask. Oh. Well, contrast paint doesn't necessarily work as disinfectant, but super glue was originally patented and used by the US Army as a battlefield wound adhesive. So super glue was originally used to super glue battle wounds back together again, and they still use it in A&Es to this day. Super glue. They just call it medical glue, and it's blue instead of, or blue glue, or blue goo. They use in the hospitals. I'm just going to bring the camera a little bit further down so we can see what you're doing. There we go. So yeah, they call it blue goo in hospital, but it's still exactly the same. It's super glue. One of my cousins cracked his head open, falling off a wall. I definitely didn't push him. He just fell accidentally. And he cracked his head open and split it open, and we had to go to hospital. And they glued his head back together with super glue. Apparently it stung like a bitch. We have small magnetic discs stuck onto our desk lamps for it easier, to make sure they don't go missing. Absolutely. You're saying he has a tufty sack? Yes, I am. So maybe put just one more, spin it around, and then just one more maybe right up against it. If you give him a hairy sack, so put it right up against the sack itself. Coal miners used it so they could do... Coal miners used it so they could get sent home or written up for on-the-job injury. Really, Putty? I would still have my wounds glued than dropping my models. Oh, absolutely. I smashed one of my British soldiers today outside when I was doing the paint dip and knocked off one of his guns, and it's gone missing forever. So I've had to break both of his arms to replace them. So I'm more than a little bit upset about that, but what can you do?
You now have super glue and bits of grass on your snippers.
That's okay. It's easier to clean off. So you can clean it off with a Stanley blade, which is what I normally do for metal on metal. Right then, Mrs. Frog. How would you find that?
Alright, alright.
What do you think?
Very good.
What was the easiest part and what was the hardest part?
Don't like edge highlighting, not good enough for it yet. So dry brushing is a much easier option for a newbie,
Yep.
but with a similar effect.
Yeah, definitely. So you've kind of
Over glued my grass.
That's okay. We learn for next time. But with the grass itself, it doesn't matter. As long as the grass is stuck down, it's going to still work. Because it's static grass, it works absolutely fine. So, all good. What do you guys think? Syndrome's just joined in. Syndrome, you're not late. You're almost at the end of the stream, buddy. Nice job, Mrs. Frog, says Syndrome. Hive says, looks great. Yeah, definitely.
How was your cottage pie?
Yeah, Syndrome was cooking Mrs. Frog's cottage pie.
So he sent me a picture of it in the making, but never said how it turned out.
I'm sure it turned out pretty good, to be fair. Unless he's anything like me, in which case he probably would have burnt the pan to the oven or something along those lines. Try and microwaving it all, I don't know. Hunter says F in the chat for the fallen British soldier. He just failed basic training, that's all. He's got to go back into boot camp to be reissued his armaments. Syndrome, amazing. Says he sent the results on Discord for you.
Oh, well, that'll be why I've not seen it, because I don't go on it very often.
You'll have to go back and check them, won't you?
The amount you lot send messages, I'll be there all week.
I'm sure it's a private message than
Didn't even know you could PM on Discord,
Yeah, send a message. MDH, catch you next time. Got to put the Sproglets to bed. Not a problem at all.
I think we're off in a moment anyway. MDH.
Yes.
Got to get Orc Girl home.
Yay. She's been round here all day. She went to, we took her to...
Went to the garden centre for some winter plants, but they don't really have them yet, so... Unsuccessful trip, but never mind. I've done chicken fajitas for tea, so she's enjoyed dinner with us, so
absolutely.
That's very nice.
Syndrome says yes, it was a PM.
I shall have to look. I do apologise.
It's not a problem at all. Righty-ho then, boys and girls. Guys, thank you so much once again for joining us. As I said, it was only going to be an hour stream today because we've got to get Orc Girl back before she turns into a pumpkin or something. Yeah, or I get slapped from both of these two. Guys, tomorrow is Bolt Action Friday, so I'm going to be painting...
Warlord Wednesday.
Wow, I've been painting way too much over the past couple of days.
Special.
I still got the fact that it was Bolt Action, but yes, it's Warlord Wednesday tomorrow. My God, I need some sleep, I think. So, yeah, we'll be working on finishing off these British soldiers. So these are the guys that I've got painted through. I have 4 figures that are unpainted, so 2 of which I'll be doing a video on, and 2 of which we will save for the live stream. And I will give you the end results of that new painting style, which is using the dip, where you dip the entire model into the varnish. It looks damn scary, but yeah, I'm waiting to see the results. Not a problem, Puddy. Guys, we're going to love you and leave you then. And thanks once again, and we will see you tomorrow for Warlord Wednesday.
See you tomorrow. I'm going to put Mr. Frog to bed before he damages something or hurts himself.
I'm just going to... You'll find me broken downstairs, just walking into a wall, you know. Error 404 does not compute. Yeah. Take care, guys.
See you all tomorrow.
We'll see you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.